My name is Brenda Bell Brown, and I am honored to share with you significant works, poems, and a story to love to and move you. The first poem that I will share with you is titled simply Annie Mae. Annie Mae, your flower dress today is beautiful. I couldn't wait to call your mother and tell her how much her child has grown. It shone in the way that you held my hand last Sunday to steady my voice in the choir as we both had a little talk with Jesus on the main line. I was fine, but your hand held me better, kept me from hurting myself in my holy trance. By chance, do you mind massaging my hands this time? Old Charlie was in my feet yesterday, and today he climbed on up a little higher past my heart. Praise Jesus. I ain't ready to go yet, at least not until you make your own house away from mine. I don't mind taking care of you, child. Any baby's baby is a baby of mine, and you are my baby 2 times over. Your mother did no harm by you. You fine. Your mother did no harm by you. I'm glad you are with me, sunshine. I'm happy to spend our time watching TV, snuggled up in bed, sipping Lipton tea, and eating vanilla wafers with our pinkies up. You older than me sometimes, talking about you ain't hungry, but you can do company. You make me happy. Stand still right there in the sunshine. I want to catch the light in your eyes while I take your picture for the umpteenth time. Your flower dress today is beautiful, Annie Mae. A sister friend to me and many others, Bobby Gant passed on to glory last summer. Her spirit lives on in us. The story, Home is Knowing the Path to Your Door, is my homage to her. I laughed out loud when she finally confided in me the thought that struck her when she first heard my voice on the phone. Oh Lord, another white woman looking for a black care provider for her black child. Little did she know that I was a Southern-born, Southern-raised black woman who just happened to have a very cultivated Midwestern way of talking. Ever since I was a little child, people accused me of speaking proper. It is a criticism that you hate to hear if you know the only thing that you want to be known for is being black, real black, just the way Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack sweetly admonished you to be for them and everyone else who ever mattered to you in your black world. Growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, in an all-black suburb of Walker Homes, I knew a lot of Nonnies. None of them were related to me by blood or marriage. However, they all naturally flowed into the role of caretaker of small children when called to action by young mothers who needed someone with maturity and knowledge to care for their babies. New to Minnesota, in need of a child care provider, I needed to find someone within my comfort zone. I found out that she was a comfort to so many in our part of the vast neighborhood that made up Frogtown, St. Paul. Her living room was always full of her children, her charges, their parents, her nieces, her nephews, their friends, folk dropping by, etc., etc. When major things happened on our street, significant aspects of their occurrence converged in her living room. Acorn's introduction to community activism in our neighborhood began there. It was the first stop of a little girl's wanderings when she learned that her baby brother had just died in an accident on our street corner. A neighborhood alert to the presence of a pedophile was news shared at a meeting that she convened. She was a soft-spoken woman of conviction who draws folk without fanfare. In retrospect, all I can say is that the minute I heard her voice, I knew she was the one to care for my children. I saw the sign announcing Bobby's daycare on her front lawn to a house that stood no more than 2 blocks away from the Frogtown family lofts, our first home in St. Paul. A year after we first met, our family moved across the street from Bobby's daycare. With that change in proximity, a daycare provider became a neighbor, a confidant, especially for my daughter, and a friend. We shared meals together, exchanged goodies and gifts during holidays. I became an Eastern star at her invitation. We shared joys and sorrows. She cried when she learned of my divorce. I cried when I learned of her cancer. My family moved from Frogtown after almost 20 years of living there. My children grew from babies to young adults, my marriage from intact to dissolution. Although my family is now spread from the East Coast to the West Coast, one constant is that our feet still know the path to her door. Bobby Cant, we love you. Stay home. Created as a call to action, this next poem was commissioned for Baraka de Soleil's choreo drama, Basking in Negritude. The poem, Strong, No Weak Bodies. I just need to see it. Strong, no weak bodies. Back thrust, fist turn, slap, set, slide, and back arms look cross. Hut, hut, hut. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put it all together now. Forward movement. That was our march. Mark time, fist up. Mark time, fist up. We marked our cadence with Umgawa, Black Power. We was on time in the 60s, and we used words that placed us in the heart of our blackness, that rolled off our tongues like so much spit from the mouths of the demented who snapped back sane. We were wearing the clothes, Watu, talking the talk, Wazuri, shaping the froze, use afro, and to ripping on real time, sheen. No matter how much they disrupted the body, Malcolm, Martin, Emmett, Medgar, say it, say it, say it, say it. They couldn't stop the spirit from pushing on. They couldn't keep us from meeting up with the past that smacked us with the spirit from behind, that hit and rolled down our spine, that turned our cadence into a song for a new type dance. Hallelujah. And we still keep on working on the strength of strong bodies with good form from Fro, form from Nzinga, form from Nkrumah, form from Nehru, form from Umoja, form from Cesar, form from Sojourner, form from Soyinka, form from Gwendolyn, form from Nikki, form from Rosa, form from Stokely, form from Ailey, form from Sweet Mother Mary's form. Before we enter an open society, we first must learn how to close ranks. Strong, no weak bodies. Homelessness was the issue that inspired my next poem. Over 20 years ago, this poem was published by the San Jose, California Poetry Society for Amnesty International. The poem, The Human Who Walks in Our Midst. Say, you love me. Caress me now, in my finery, as I walk through the street and gather your dung, knowing that it is fuel to feed me, knowing that what you discard is my treasure. I read your life in what I touch. I realize much in what you say you don't need. I refuse your gifts of money, and your looks of pity make me lift my nose to the sky. For I possess the treasure that you will not own. It is in my basket of overgrown clothes and rotting refuse, and pamphlets of hieroglyphics that line the bottom of my simple gold sifter. See me love. You won't embrace me, but I embrace you through what you don't need. I don't fear your second-hand touch, for my spirit is strong enough to take on the power of your neglect. I touch your refuse and burnish my hands with your patina. With my touch, I keep your essence alive. I say I love your existence. Your past is my present. I say I love you. Won't you say you love me? My last poem from the collection of significant works, Poems and Stories to Love to and Move You, chosen as a tribute